Where your diamond is too low, you're back again with another video. Today we're reacting to Anicap, stuck as a rookie for 3,000 years, but he still dominates all his opponents. Let's get into it, guys.
Hi, I'm Charles with Anicap. The story begins as our young protagonist named Bai does schoolwork. He is then approached by his teacher, who explains that the Foundation Establishment realm is the core of cultivation. Sometime later, students sweep the floor of the sword sector in the cultivation realm. Clouds form and they decide to finish up as it is about to rain. However, they soon come under the attack of several thunder beasts. One of the students manages to get away on a flying sword, but the others aren't so lucky. The section leader named Yunzai would soon arrive and demand that the beasts leave immediately. They don't, and after he sees the damage they have done, Yunzai orders that they all be killed. A mysterious person hides nearby and watches the battle. Elsewhere, we see that Bai has grown older and is extremely disappointed when his spell embarrassingly doesn't go as planned. He looks to the immortals and asks them why they haven't helped him break through to the next realm even after 3,000 years.
So he lived 3,000 years and looks super young right now, but he's growing older.
He threatens them a bit, but takes it back when he begins to hear rumbling outside, and checks to find that there is fighting below. Yunzai can't understand why the beasts continue to attack, and the student wonders if they should contact Mr. Bai. Yunzai denies the request, but after realizing that they are severely outnumbered and will suffer several casualties, decide that they must find Mr. Bai. Yunzai reminds the student that he should not fly in respect for Mr. Bai, and we see that Bai must travel like an average person. The student arrives to explain the situation, but Bai is already aware and explains that he is on his way there. The student remembers now that Bai hasn't broken through to the Foundation Establishment realm yet and cannot fly by sword. The student explains that he is too slow and offers Bai a ride. Bai explains that he will confiscate the sword since there is no flying on that mountain and decides that they should just jump down instead. But the student is terrified of heights without being able to fly. At the sword sector, Yunzai struggles against the beasts, but they are strangely called away by something. The supreme elder of the demon sector named Fang appears and expresses his disappointment. There doesn't seem to be any strong opponents present since they couldn't defeat the thunder beasts, and he explains that he has been acknowledged by the immortals after passing a test. Yunzai questions why he is there, and Fang explains that he is in search of a battle with the sword master. Yunzai explains that Bai is busy, and Fang should look for someone else to fight, but is surprised to hear Fang say that he has already defeated everyone else. Yunzai attempts to
So now he's trying to defeat Bai?
Fight him after realizing Fang sent the beasts, but quickly realizes just how powerful someone who passes the immortals test really is. Just then, Fang becomes upset after almost being hit by a secret weapon, but is surprised to see that it was actually Bai. Bai is upset to hear that Fang has passed the immortals test, and thinks about how unreliable the immortals are. He rejects Fang's offer to fight, but Fang explains that they are in no hurry since Bai has yet to have his first breakthrough even after 3,000 years of training. This insult enrages Bai and the two begin their battle. Bai instantly demonstrates the large difference in their power as the fight proves to be heavily one-sided. Fang is quickly defeated and Yunzai passes out from seeing all the damage the two have done.
Dang.
Fang is certain that Bai must have found a way to break through and asks that Bai train him. However, Bai explains that he is still in the beginning realm and doesn't want to train anyone. Fang is grateful for their fight and offers Bai a gift that he says holds the secret to him breaking through to the next realm. Bai is a bit skeptical of the document, but Fang explains that he was told to give it to Bai by someone he knows named Su. Yunzai is too distracted by the amount of damage done, but must snap out of it when Bai explains that the document must be translated. Later, Bai gives his tribute to the immortals as usual, but is startled by someone that explains that it is time for him to die. His name is Ling, and he is
what he gonna do now? Cause they trying to kill him.
A ghost from the Hades realm. Bai explains that he ate the everlasting longevity pill that prolongs life by 50 years, but Ling points out that it has been 50 years and 2 minutes since then.
50 years
Bai simply states that he will just eat another pill, and Ling says that it's useless to continue trying since Bai hasn't had his first breakthrough even after 3,000 years. Ling reveals that the Immortal Emperor has promised him a promotion for bringing back Bai and has offered to make Bai King of Ghosts after dying. Bai declines, but Ling decides that they should fight to decide the outcome. Later, Yunzai gives his offering to the immortals, but Bai explains that doing so hasn't accomplished anything for him even after 3,000 years. Yunzai must leave though, as he must watch over the repairs of the sword sector, and Bai points out some damage to his roof after sending an old friend flying out of it. A look into their fight shows that Bai was declined an extension on his life so that he can make another longevity pill, but Ling has no choice
an extension on his life? Okay, so he gotta take that pill or he gonna be old.
Than to accept after he is sent through the roof by Bai. Bai explains that he needs herbs for making the everlasting pill, but Yunzai states that only those that are still in the first realm, like Bai, need the pill. The large majority usually break through pretty quickly, so there is no need for them to have the herbs. Bai is still stuck in the first realm though, and is in desperate need of the rare celestial heart herb. Bai is then given a ride on a flying sword, but a bad flyer causes him to vomit, and he vows to have a breakthrough so that he can learn to fly for himself.
Look at his face.
His travel is interrupted by a group of men that claim that Bai must pay if he wants to pass them.
Aww,
the group is surprised to hear that Bai isn't afraid at all, and explain that no one would ever know if he was killed there. They attempt to attack Bai as he thinks about how the nearby kingdom must be at war, but are stopped by a stranger. Bai is impressed to see that the stranger is immortal and has reached the higher realm simply by improving his martial arts. The stranger makes quick work of the robbers, and Bai thanks him for his assistance. The stranger warns that zombies are lurking in the area and that frail students like Bai shouldn't be wandering around. Bai points out how frail the stranger is, but he heads towards the danger, and Bai explains that the zombies should be left to the cultivators. The stranger scoffs at the idea, and Bai relishes the idea of killing zombies. Later, the stranger enters a cave to find that several zombies are there, and they begin to chase him. The stranger does well to defend himself from their attacks and nearly reaches the cave entrance. His path is blocked off though, and the other zombies close in on him. Just then, the stranger is saved by a projectile that came from Bai, and he reintroduces himself. The stranger only remembers him as the frail student, but Bai shows his immense strength by destroying all the zombies. The stranger is surprised since Bai didn't fight back against the robbers,
That's a lot of
but
zombies.
he explains that he just didn't have enough time. Bai is glad to see that he could return the favor, but the stranger can only think about how the people of the kingdom are suffering because of the zombies.
So what, she gonna ask Bai for help? Or he
Bai
gonna ask
states
Bai
that he
for
should
help?
have contacted the cultivators at the sword sector since they have a department specifically for this, but he explains that it's the cultivators' fault in the first place. Bai introduces himself, and the stranger reveals his name to be Wei. He requests that he come with him to the kingdom to defeat the demons since he is so powerful, and promises him fame and fortune. Bai isn't interested in those though, and accepts a dinner invitation instead. After dinner, Wei explains that Bai cannot eat the food and reveals that the place is full of witches. He has a hard time resisting the food, but Wei goes on to say that every guy who goes there ends up getting bewitched.
Dang.
The king has recently been bewitched and is now planning to marry a witch named Su. Bai is familiar with her and tries to leave, but she arrives to stop him. Bai introduces his two friends and tries to help them get along by stating that there was simply a misunderstanding. He gets them to discuss the zombies, and Su explains that she is not involved at all. Furthermore, she states that she doesn't have to seduce the king to take over the kingdom, and Bai agrees, revealing that she is powerful enough to kill the king if she wanted to. Wei warns that he will be keeping an eye on Su and leaves. Su explains that she has done some investigating, and the zombies have something to do with the immortal, demon, and Hades realms. She offers
what are the zombies there to do?
the information to Bai in case he wants to handle it, but wants to discuss something else. Wei states that it has been years since Bai killed her master, and she has reformed the Blessed Sector according to his suggestions. She would like some praise from Bai, but he remembers that he came in search of herbs and leaves. Unfortunately,
said
when
he
he
not
gets to the
praising
shop,
her.
the vendor explains that someone had bought all the herbs that he searches for. Moments later, two men appear to take the vendor's son away to be used as an offering in the king's worship ceremony, but he explains that he doesn't have one. However, as they leave, a boy approaches them asking for food, and after learning that he is an orphan, they take him away. At the kingdom, preparations for the ceremony are being made, and the king is being painted a lot more handsomely than he really is. He tries on his newly made ceremonial robe and is told by the Grand Master named Sima that the robe will be good for showing his future wife Su the prestige of the kingdom. Su is certain to fall in love with them, but the king is not satisfied. He wants to make sure that enough girls and boys have been
Dang, well, what more do he want? More boys and girls that have been found.
so they can be sacrificed to the ancestors.
Oh,
Wei arrives and is revealed
he's sacrificing boys and girls?
to actually be the eldest princess of the kingdom, and demands that her father cancel the worship ceremony. Nearby, we see that the orphan boy who had been taken is actually Bai, that used his transformation trick. By doing this, he is able to find out that the worship ceremony will be held at the imperial tombs in a couple days.
That's Bai?
Meanwhile, Wei begs that her father not marry Su, but the king points out that Wei should marry soon as well, and explains Sima would be perfect for her. He is a cultivator though, and Wei doesn't trust him, but the king says Sima has helped solve his problems. Wei storms off, but Sima reminds the king of their priority to make sure Su falls in love with him. Afterwards, Sima finds Wei, and she states that she wants to avoid speaking to him at all costs. He instead reveals that he has liked her for some time and plans to propose to her at the worship ceremony.
She don't want to marry you. She don't even want you talking to her.
Wei is repulsed by his idea and notices that she cut herself on his rose as she leaves. Sima clearly has something
How she cut herself on a rose, so what kind of rose is that?
planned though as the rose blossoms moments later. That night, Bai makes his way into the Imperial tombs and is impressed by how grand it is. Before he can go further though, Bai gives into temptation and takes a moment to go in search of valuable pearls and stones. He is then in disbelief when he finds the Dragon Ball sword, as it is a great treasure. Touching it sets off a trap though, and Bai must be saved by someone in the shadows. It's Wei, and the two are surprised to see each other. Wei explains that he is there to investigate the zombies, and Bai pretends that he is as well. Bai hides the fact that he is beginning to realize Wei is a girl, and Wei becomes skeptical of his intentions when an offering falls from his pocket.
Because at first they said he, and then I'm looking at Wei like, that's a girl, but Wei was the one that cut herself on the rose, and she, you know, her dad, and she was dressed up in the little orange looking thing with the things in her head, but he thought she was a boy right there because she kind of do look like one, but then, you know.
Bai pretends that it's vital to his investigation, and the two head further into the tomb. The place is strangely very clean, and Wei is shocked when they find the coffin of the founding emperor. The coffin is several hundred years old, but now looks almost brand new. Just then, something called a bloodthirsty spell is activated below their feet, and Bai states that they need to leave immediately.
What does that do?
However, Wei has different plans as she decides that the coffin must be burned. She explains that she must protect her family, and Bai grows even more suspicious about his new friend's identity. Bai then uses the night pearl he found earlier to put her to sleep and stops her from setting the place on fire. Afterwards, Bai explains to Su that the bloodthirsty spell that was activated seems to be for the purpose of framing her as someone seducing the king. Bai explains that he didn't break the spell so that they could find the real
was trying to frame her anyways, to make it seem like she was the king's seducer.
Person responsible and prove her innocence. Wei then breaks free of her gag and reveals her identity as the princess. Bai plans to have Wei simply explain everything to her father, but she refuses, and Su asks for a moment alone with her. Su shows her a scar that was left by the Empress and tells her a story about it. Moments later, Su explains that Wei has agreed to help, and Bai prepares to reveal his plan. The next day, Wei tells a secret to her father that we don't get told and makes him promise to not tell anyone. She explains that Su will give him a surprise if he agrees, and the Emperor must be given heart pills so he doesn't die from excitement. Wei also wants full control over who she marries, and the Emperor agrees to everything, which Bai is glad to see.
He gets overly
Thanks for watching part 1. Future parts will be in a pinned comment below.
Thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned. I'll be back with more videos, and I'm out.